Hey, what's up, guys? So, if you're new to user testing and you haven't worked with them or know what it is, user testing basically is a platform for companies, entrepreneurs, startups to get an honest feedback from actual people about the products they're building or platform they're building or websites they're building or any kind of apps they're building or something like that. Basically, they would hire user testing, and then user testing would hire people like ourselves, and they give you sort of a opportunity to give honest feedback to these companies so they can better their product and make it more viable for whatever purpose they're doing it for. So that being said, if you're not actually hiring user testing and you want to just make some extra cash on the side, the downside, there are no downsides actually. The upside here is if you have some free time, you give a honest feedback, and you get paid for it. So if you're brand new, let's get started. I've already went ahead and created an account, however, and also taken a few more tests, and so in order for you to be a paid tester, you need to have two things. One, you need to have a working email. Two, you need to go through their screening tests at the beginning. So they want to make sure you follow instructions, you actually have a pretty decent equipment and can talk and articulate your words properly. So that's what they're looking for before they set you in. So what we're going to do first is create an account. I'm going to walk you through from the beginning with the new account that I'm going to create right now and walk you through their screening process so you can understand what's going on. And then after that, we're going to jump into the walkthrough of once you're qualified as a tester and what you can expect and what comes after it. So let's go to get paid. On top right over here to test. Once you're here, you're gonna give him an email address. I'm just gonna use a dummy email address right now. So get started. They're gonna send you a verification. Okay, took a few seconds, but here we are. Okay, so you're gonna click complete your application. So it takes you to this page. Once you're in this page, you can go through their introduction video, know what they're expecting, whatnot, and the walkthrough process of this one. I've already gone through it once, so I'm just going to skip it for now. They're going to ask you to take a practice test. So, go through the video because they're going to give you clear instructions where you have to speak out your thoughts out loud, have a smooth walkthrough, make sure everything's good to go from there. So I'm going to start my test. So this test is, tips for success, blah, blah, blah. I would recommend going through this as well if you're doing it for the first time. So next, it's going to ask you to share. You're going to say share access. Sure, I love it for now. Sure. So I'm just going to say just do the user testing screen. I love it. Okay, so it's capturing my screen right now. Then next, really, I'm ready to think out loud. Next, make sure you have two tabs open, so for the test to work properly. That's good, and then you start recording. And as soon as you click start recording, their app is actually recording it right now. So the scenario, read through it. Basically, they want you to speak out loud, follow the instruction properly as a customer. So before you begin each step, to read the instructions properly and whatnot. So I'm going to open the test. So it takes you to this page. Here is a little bit confusing about this, and you might think this is a test, but the reality is you need to go back over here to this tab because the instructions are over here. So it was a little bit confusing for myself and quite a few people when they took this test. So scenario number one, they're saying for this practice test, they want to know how well you speak, how well you follow the instructions, whatnot. So you're going to click the next. So task one, when you consider You sign up for it, you agree to user terms and conditions, find their code of conduct, and review the important points to remember. So explain why it is important not to copy or take screenshots during a customer test. So what you're going to do here is you're going to go to their customer support center. Just the way I'm speaking in this video, you're going to go here, you're going to look for code of conduct stuff, read through it, and then just narrate what you're doing to them while the whole thing is being recorded, so they can understand that what you're doing. Here are some of the important points. Your accounts, you have to be 18 and older, accurate and up to date for information. Only create one account, not allowed to anyone else to use the account. Obviously, not conduct any tests while traveling outside the country, on the profile, whichever country you're in. And then testing, pretty much straightforward. Answer screener questions honestly, not communicate directly with the customer or whoever it is for soliciting outside the work. Feedback recorder appropriate for display. There should not be any obscene, inappropriate, offensive language, just straightforward. You will be able to webcam display and whatnot. And not copy and screenshot of any part of test. Keep all the information confidential. So now that you read through their code of conduct, come back and explain this question, which is explain why it is important not to copy or take the screenshot during your customer test. In your own words, make sure you explain what you read through that question or that page on their code of conduct. Come back here and take care of it. And then once you've done and you feel like you've given a pretty good explanation about their code of conduct and explain this question, go to the next point. Same case scenario, they're asking for you about their privacy, about the personal information, your personal information, accept or decline. Find articles to discuss privacy, whatnot. So you go back to their original page, look for privacy and payments, which is pretty much that, or protection of your privacy while testing. Read through this thing, read it out loud. Don't just read it in your head. Read it out loud so they can, understand your walkthrough process. Make sure all of this is read through, and once you've read through all of this information, you're going to come back here again, say what you feel and think as find. So basically, they're making you read these and then understand that all the policies and legal issues that come with it, and you understand what is going on with your information and whatnot. So you come back, task 3, which are the following: if it's never safe to share. Pick your answer. I'm not going to pick it for you because it's unethical at that point. So make sure you do your homework from that page. Pick your answer. Once you pick your answer, I'm just going to randomly pick one here, which might not be right or which might be right. So any final thoughts? Obviously, you're going to, explain your final thoughts on the test, and what you did, recap it, about the code of conduct, about privacy, about the questions you had in your mind, or how the page was and what was confusing about the page, and then whatever scenario may be, explain to them. And then you're gonna, if you do it right, this test should take you about roughly 10 to 20 minutes. That should be the sweet spot you should be looking for. And then once you're done, you're just going to say stop recording, and that'll take the test back to them. It'll say something along the lines of, hey, so-and-so did the test. We'll get back to you in a few days. So I'm not going to obviously continue this test and then submit a fake test. So I'm just going to close it for now. Okay, so what happens if you fail your test? They're going to give you a second chance. At least that's been my experience. You'll get the first email on the left-hand side, which basically says it's being processed. Second email basically says retry your practice test. And from there on out, you're just going to give it a shot. Once you're accepted, what you're going to get is this email, which basically states you've been accepted, blah, 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 and then you can start testing. All right, folks, hope it was helpful, and don't forget to check out my other videos on this topic in my channel. And if you got value, then definitely hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you want to get more information like these in the future. Have a good one.